Sawadee-ka. March the 18th. A negative mind spawns only negative ideas. It is a physical impossibility for a negative mind to generate positive thoughts. When you allow yourself to dwell on the negative aspects of life, negative thinking expands to fill all of your thoughts until there is no room for positive thoughts to grow. It becomes an endless cycle. The habit of negative thinking generates more and more negative thoughts, which the mind attempts to turn into physical reality, just like, the opposite with good thoughts that we talked about before here. The result is a life of despair and hopelessness. Oh dear. He went there. Develop the habit of eliminating negative thoughts the moment they appear. Start small at first. When you first hear that inner voice that says, "I can't do this," put that thought out of your mind immediately. Instead, concentrate on the task itself. Break it down into manageable parts and complete them one at a time. That is very good advice right there. We talked about goals and breaking them into like milestones and manageable goals and goals you can reach that all lead up to what I called your big hairy ass goal or hairy audacious goal, whatever your BHAG, right, which is a huge goal that you can only really kind of dream of now. But if you go ahead and do the milestones and the small goals like this, you'll achieve your BHAG, right? So break down manageable parts. When the job is finished, tell your doubting self, you were wrong. I could do it, and I did. All right, I'm being a little flippant with it, but no, it's absolutely true, guys. It's all about the techniques. You know what I mean? Yeah, I did a thing on update on the Ford Ranger the other day. I got lucky. Sometimes it's just pure dumb luck, right? It's sometimes you're good and you work hard and you study hard and everything comes out, like it should. And other times you just get lucky. And I got lucky, and it wasn't a big problem or an expensive problem with the air conditioning in the Ranger. I didn't know that when I bought it. I thought it was a small problem in that it just needed to be recharged because the truck's only 3 years old. So I'm like, how can a component go bad on a 3-year-old truck? Well, they can. The components go bad for any number of reasons. It looks like there was animals nesting in the inside the truck because it sat so long. There was a long time between when it got repossessed and when it was brought up to auction. The air filter had a big dig in it, like an animal had, a rat or a bird or something had come and scooped out the air cleaner, part of it. It was in pieces and shreds. And then Jeff found a nest the other day up in the suspension. I've been driving the truck for, a couple 100 kilometers or something by now. And there was a freaking bird's nest up inside the fender well, that he saw from the outside. So that truck sat a long time, so it could have been a lot worse. And I did a video, like a 6-minute video on it. Was somehow Jeff got on Facebook and was like, "I don't believe in conspiracy theories." So I don't either. But somehow, by an act of God, the relay, which is nothing but a big fuse, right, a big square black thing, magically lifted up out of the AC compressor, clutch compressor slot in the fuse box in the engine compartment. The cover lifted up, the fuse magically lifted itself up and moved itself down into another spot. That spot is for a third brake light, the center brake light that a lot of trucks have in the middle of the window of the cab in the back. The only problem with that is that the AC wasn't working because of it, right? The blower motor was going, but it was blowing hot air because the compressor had no power. The circuit was broken. That's a problem. So the minute we put the relay there, not only did it kick in, but it was charged. The system was fine. It had compressor in there, freezing, coolant in there, and it blew cold. It blew cold instantly the minute the mechanic put the thing from the one to the other. The second problem is the slot that it was residing in was for the third brake light. There is no brake light third brake light on that truck. It only has the 2 rear tail lights, you know, like a normal truck. It doesn't have the third brake light. I guess that was an option on that truck, or it's standard on the higher models. Once again, it's a second model up. There's a standard and an open cab. This is the open cab. So the open cab didn't have the third brake light. So why would a relay be in the third brake light circuit if there is no third brake light? Somebody moved it at some point prior to me taking possession of the truck. Could have been the old owner, right? Because he took the speakers off, so he's like, oh, screw the SCB is going to come take my truck. Fuck them. I'll take this out and I'll pull this cord out from under the, you know, somebody physically removed the wiring harness underneath the seat that tells the dash that the seat belt is working and fine and not locked or anything like that. So it's throwing a code because it's missing the piece. Somebody took that piece out of there at some time. Who? Yeah, I don't know. I'll admit that readily. I don't know. But, you know, those 2 things are what's wrong on the truck. So, as I said in the other video, I'm very, very happy, positive mental attitude, that it didn't cost me more. Because obviously the thing is to get the truck to where it's not throwing any codes and it's blowing cold air and it's like you would expect a truck to run that's a 2018 with 5,000 miles on it. It's like a new truck. It needs to look like a new truck and it needs to run like a new truck. So warning lights on the dash are not a new truck. Air conditioning that doesn't work is not a new truck. So I have to do everything I need to do to make it look, feel, smell, run like a new truck. And baby steps. Like every day I try to get something accomplished. So I got the little phone holder that goes on the dash I was talking about. So I plant that on the dash and I can look at my GPS on my phone while I steer with this hand and shift with this one. And I know it's backwards. I'm using the front of the phone. So a lot of times you'll see letters backwards. You know, the ostentatious mask my ex-girlfriend bought for me because status is everything. That says BMW, and it's not backwards. It's BMW, and it's, you know, when I'm wearing it, it's normal. But when you're looking at it, because I'm using the front lens of the camera, it makes everything backwards. So when I say I'm driving with my right hand, this is my right hand, but it appears to opposite to the left, and I shift with my left hand. This is my left hand, and it's on my left-hand side. It's backwards for you. So, sorry about that. My phone doesn't have a flip thing, so I could see what the frame looks like while I'm shooting from the back. You know? So I'd shoot from the front, and that flips letters. And, you know, like when I hold up the book even, it's, you know, all the letters are backwards, right? So, anyway, yeah. Accentuate the positive. You want the song. Eliminate the negative, right? So it's true. It works. In the beginning, it takes a conscious effort. I've talked many times about exercising your mind is like going to the gym and exercising your body. You have to physically force yourself to go to the gym in the beginning, and then it becomes a habit and a routine, and you do it automatically. You're just like, what am I doing? Oh, I'm going to the gym. I always go to the gym. I go to the gym, you know, 3 nights a week or 4 nights a week or 7 nights a week, whatever you do. The point is that it becomes habit. But in the beginning, when you're trying a new technique like he's talking about here, where, you know, a negative thought crops up, because they do, it's just part of life. Negative thoughts crop up, negative things happen to you, and it's all about how you deal with it. And what he's suggesting is consciously focus on that thought and say, no, I won't say that. I won't hold that thought in my mind. I won't entertain that notion. I am going to think positive. And that's an effective technique. It works, and you'll be a happier, more successful person by being able to do that.